Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Parlay Revival. We have sailed all the way to the Philippines and are exploring a place called Siargao, which is known as one of the best surf spots in the country. We are on the shoulder season of the surf right now, so we aren't having too much luck, but are keeping ourselves occupied with plenty of other activities.
So we've just sailed out to some outer islands here to look for surf. Forecast said there'd be no wind, 2.5 meter swell. It was looking really promising. And it's like 20 knots, well 18 knots right now onshore. So the surf is crap. But Daryl, our friend from Precision Sails, sent us this wing. I thought this is the perfect opportunity as long as this wind sticks around for another half an hour. We have never seen this inflated. Oh, sick! Look at this. It's the same colors as our spinnaker. That's so cool. So yeah, we've come a fair way away from Siargao, and Marcos and Ayana were staying in a resort for a couple of days. And they said they'd catch a taxi ride out here. So they came out in one of these local boats. These local boats, not really designed to be coming all the way out here in those conditions that they had yesterday.
We were laughing and say, "Oh, this is so amazing, like an adventure." 10 minutes later, my legs are getting numb. It was a very hard positioning the way we were sitting. I think I was too big for that little boat. Then I broke the seat, which was a piece of wood. I broke it with my ass in one of the bumps. And then I have two boards. I think both are 8 foot. They were like hitting my ankles, you know. But at the same time, trying to keep a balance. After 20 minutes, he was terrified, a little bit terrified. I don't like it anymore. It was scary. The water never stopped coming to my eyes. I couldn't talk to Ayana. It was too loud, the engine. And it was over 45 minutes trip. It was not good.
How happy were you when you saw Parlay?
I felt like a huge relief. And I started, yeah.
Colin, me don't like it, bro. We were f***ing scared, bro. Oh my f***ing god. I thought we were gonna f***ing drown. I said, this is how our trip is gonna end. Never, ever again.
Baby, your pants is ripped.
Huh?
Well, I'm glad Marcos and Ayana made it back to the boat in one piece. Marcos was the chef on a TV show we filmed called Below Deck, but him and Ayana are going to say their emotional goodbyes this episode, which is a bit of a tearjerker. Anyway, it was time to test out the new wing while there was still some wind. Linda, of course, picked an opportune time to take a deuce.
How convenient.
And on that note, off I went.
How was it?
Super good. I think this is the first one he's ever made. So, man, it worked a treat. It's me that's rusty, not this.
Meanwhile, back on the boat, we had a young entrepreneur on board who had been working non-stop on her new business idea. Well, when she wasn't brutally sick, that is.
Lana, what are you working on? You're always working.
I'm working on my startup called Jobly.
What is it?
It's a job app where you can swipe to apply, and also it's kind of like a dating app where you're able to see which employers liked you, so that you're able to swipe through all the employers who's already shown interest in hiring you, so that you don't constantly have to be the one applying.
Wait, and you're making this app from scratch?
Yes. And then there's also like 2 sides to it. So you can be the one applying to places, and you can also be the one who's hiring.
So it's like Tinder for
Yes.
jobs?
I'm matchmaking between job seekers and employers. You just upload your resume, and once you do, then it's going to automatically fill in like all the information, just scraping information from your resume. So you just put in your personal information. Hopefully you have enough information on your resume that you don't have to fill in like all the stuff like manually.
So you upload your resume and it takes all that information from your resume?
Yes. And then you're able to swipe through all these ones. So as you can see, like all of these ones, like they have like a little matching score, so you know like how much of a chance you'd actually get hired at these places. And yeah, that's kind of like the first version of the mobile app.
There's nothing like this out there at the moment.
No.
How long have you been working on this?
Oh man, I think it's literally been a year.
A year?
Yeah, a full year.
So you're literally all in on this. You've spent a year of your life dedicated to this.
Yeah.
Hope it succeeds. What were you doing?
Yeah, me too.
What were you doing before this?
I was a product designer for an electric vehicle startup. Yeah.
And you're going to tell everyone how old you are now?
I'm 26.
It's a huge undertaking that you just decided to do.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. You'll be able to find this app really soon on the Apple Store and on Android. Stay tuned, I guess.
I don't see my belly anymore. Hi, we're Colin and Marcos.
He's lost a lot of weight on this trip.
Yeah.
We're at a really remote island off the coast of Siargao and all of that. And we've just been surfing like 4 hours. My eyes are burnt. But we met some locals surfing and they invited us over for dinner. We're gonna go to the village tonight. There's no electricity on this village. They've got solar power and a couple of solar lights, but no refrigeration. So they don't get to eat much meat and stuff because they can't keep it. So Marcos has cooked up a fake potato mash.
But it's really good. Cat.
The guy that we were talking to wishes that people would make gardens, but no one has gotten around to building a garden, so they don't have any vegetables.
I make a roasted garlic, cilantro, mashed potato, and I make a very nice marinated fresh garlic, cilantro, olive oil, lemon zest, orange zest, lemon juice, orange juice, salt, pepper, and now we're gonna marinate that with the chicken, and then we're gonna grill that. So that flavor, it's really, really, really good. I normally make this for my clients, and it's a really Mediterranean flavor. I 100% sure they never eat this kind of seasoning, so they're gonna enjoy it for sure. I'm very happy to collaborate, And I'm gonna meet some locals. I'm gonna cook in a different kitchen. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So I don't know how big this village is. We've just come around to the other side of it that the surf's on, and we have to find where they live. Can't be too hard, right? So this place is called Ayuki Island, which is a 20-mile sail south of Siargao. This was our first interaction with a remote Filipino community, and we had no idea what to expect.
Oh, it's shaking.
It smells so good.
It smells good.
Poppy smells always really good, bro.
It smells like fish.
Yeah? Well, you're right.
Oh, it's okay, buddy. They're cute. They can't even walk.
As with most of these remote communities, fishing is such a massive part of their lives, and the fishermen go out all day and often all night to bring home some fish to sell.
Nana, have you ever been to a village like this?
No, I feel like I'm in like fantasy land. This is really gorgeous.
This is the uncle's house. They're cooking over open flame there, so that'd be nice. Get a nice smoky flavour. But we're gonna go buy some fish.
Octopus. What about octopus?
Oh, yeah, boy.
You wanna try octopus as well?
Yeah.
These guys like it.
This village is so well manicured, like all the plants are perfectly positioned and cut, and the grass is so soft and neat. There's no trash anywhere.
This is the octopus stand.
This octopus.
For that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one, huh?
I think I take this one.
Must have is bigger.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
big one.
60 per kilo.
Okay.
Jordano. 1.4. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Whoa.
So guys, take a look at the fish.
This is more like a...
They're like flying fish.
Yeah, it's the flying fish.
Yeah.
One. Yeah, I think really 2 kilos. Yeah, cool. So that one, yeah.
Everyone in this village was so friendly, and it just felt like a simple, peaceful way of life out here. Meanwhile, back at the house, the aunties were stoking the fire, and we were about to experience a Filipino-Venezuelan meal being prepared over hot coconut shells.
You can start cooking here.
I like the hat. Show us. It's beautiful.
It's hot, it's humid, but we surrounded so many good people that I don't even realize that. You know, you don't need fancy tools, you don't need fancy kitchen, you know. If you know how to cook and you have fire, you still bring people together.
Marcos was literally sweating up a storm, and the lovely family took turns fanning him down.
Colin, it's your turn next.
Where's the octopus?
It's so hot here, let alone next to that fire.
Hello.
For the locals, this was just another family-style meal, but for us, this was turning into a unique and special experience indeed.
I've been cooking a lot of places, but this is one of the most interested and rustic, let's say it, you know. Never cooked with coconut shells. This is amazing. I didn't know you can cook with this. The smell is delicious too. Never cook fish straight on the grill without being clean, but they say you don't need to marinate it, you don't need, just put it straight on the grill. Let's see how it tastes. I never eat flying fish, ever.
Me neither. It's going to be very interesting.
They say it's very disrespectful if you don't eat it. That's the only way you go out.
I don't know if I can do it.
Marcos was told to put the flying fish directly onto the hot coconut coals to finish cooking them. A little hot tip from the locals. In the meantime, his chicken had finished cooking, which got the seal of approval from Grandma.
Alright, amigos, yeah.
Next, the family set the table, which was made with a huge banana leaf, and then on came the food.
There she goes.
We really were not expecting this, as our table became one massive serving dish for everyone. This didn't actually feel like something they were putting on just for us. This literally felt like how they eat every night, and no one was allowed to eat without washing their hands first.
No, I didn't expect to cook like this, but I love it, you know.
It's very, very good.
Very good.
Then after a quick prayer, everyone dug in with their hands, and the best thing about that is that there are hardly any dishes to do. I was nervous about eating the flying fish, but to my surprise, it was honestly so delicious. There was no prep involved, it was just cooked in its own skin straight on the coals, and the meat just falls straight off the bones. It was a pretty phenomenal amount of food, but we got through almost all of it, with only a few scraps going to the family dog. But the night wouldn't be complete without a magic trick from Marcos.
Pick the car.
Is this our card?
Crazy,
10
no?
pesos!
10 pesos. 10 pesos. 10 pesos. That's it.
It was then the uncle's turn to do a trick,
Magic.
which we later found out was a result of a dynamite fishing accident, before it became illegal, that is. It was such a wholesome experience, all because we took a little leap of faith and said yes to a stranger offering to show us his home. And man, am I glad we did. The next morning, it was time for Marcos's final weigh-in to see if he had reached his weight loss goal for the month.
So Marcos said, film me at the start and at the end.
How much weight did you lose on Parlay?
Drum roll. Hey, nice.
12.
It's about 12.
12.
It is. That's good.
I'm definitely gonna come back. I'm gonna come back stronger. I make a bet with Colin. I need to weigh 93 kilos next time I come back to the boat, and so I'm gonna be able to surf better and to do things that I really love to do. I really have struggled in this trip to surf, to swim, to everything.
Oh, I feel like it's been I'd like to say it was like a movie. Had like the highest of the highest moments of my life, and then it also had pretty harsh moments with the seasickness, you know. I've never been so like seasick in my life, but honestly, like it was pretty life-changing. Like this was my first time on a boat for so freaking long. I got to see like so many amazing places, like got to experience this lifestyle that I've never experienced before, and I feel like I feel more like myself than I have felt in a really long time being on the boat. Yeah. You know, it's really the people that really made this experience like
100%.
really amazing.
In my way, it was more like I was in that time of my life that I had to make a change. Colin, you know, invite me, you know, with Diana, you know, and start this journey of become healthy again, you know, like do the things I love.
How does that feel, like being able to like reclaim those parts of your life that you maybe forgot that gave you so much joy?
Amazing. I always gonna be grateful for this.
It meant a lot to me to have Marcos get a taste of the life that I've been trying to describe to him for years, with little success. When caught up in the rat race, it's so easy to forget that not only is there a whole world out there to explore, but also that just slowing down and being part of nature, in particular on the ocean, does something to the soul. I think this trip took Marcos back to his childhood in Venezuela, where the ocean had been such a huge part of his life, and that he had undoubtedly missed that going from one kitchen to another. It was really special watching a friend find his roots again, and I really look forward to the next time him and Ayana come back to spend some time with us again. But for now, it was time to get moving again, as we needed to get to a city called Cebu to get some work done on the boat. So it will just be Jamie, Brett and myself for the next couple of months.
Right guys, we are leaving Siargao. My honest review of this place is that we haven't had the best time. It's been raining every day, and the surf, which is the best thing that they have here, has been super onshore every single day. So we have only probably got 2 or 3 actual good surfs in early in the morning. So yeah, a little unfortunate. Kind of came up here to surf. Cloud9 is a world-class surf spot, don't get me wrong. I don't know, in a different season it probably pumps, but yeah. We're gonna go to Cebu and we're gonna do some boat work. I know you guys love that. We're gonna be building a surround, like some clears for the entire hardtop area. We're gonna be replacing every single cushion cover on the boat. They are, for some reason, so moldy and we just can't stay on top of it. And we'll explain what happened. So we're gonna head towards Surigao. That's where we cleared into the country. Became friends with Jake, who helped us get all that clearance done. But yeah, gonna motor there, no wind.
It was a pretty tough passage actually, as we bashed our way towards Surigao Strait, which was the location of a huge battle in World War II, which Jake is going to tell us more about in his little museum, which is absolutely fascinating, including his discovery missions with former Microsoft owner Paul Allen.
So what happened here in the Surigao Strait?
Yeah, on October 25, 1944, a Japanese line of 7 ships went north up Surigao Strait, and they were met by an armada of waiting American and Australian ships that ambushed them. So what the Americans did, and the Australians too, they formed a line, which eventually, made a T. So it's a naval tactic called crossing the T, where you form a line of ambush, so you concentrate all the firepower into the top of the enemy line, slowly decimating the first line, second line, and third line. So without too much exposure to your ambush line. So the Americans and the Australians were successful in sinking 6 of the 7 Japanese warships that came in.
And so they're still sunk right here somewhere.
Yeah. So 2 battleships are sunk right here. There are 3 destroyers also sunk right about here, and 1 heavy cruiser right about here when she had to turn back. So Surigao Strait is a graveyard of around 4,000 Japanese sailors who died.
No way.
In a few hours. Yeah, the locals who were alive here said, and we were able to interview some of them, it looked like, what happens on New Year's Eve every year nowadays. It was just fireworks all over.
Wow.
This is Surigao Pier over here. This is the boulevard.
So we're anchored right here now?
Yes, you're anchored right here, where Japanese cargo Maru ships were sunk by a surprise attack of U.S. planes.
And what's going on there?
It's a plume of water. They were hit by a bomb.
That's a bomb going off right there?
Yes.
in this moment of this photo?
Yes. This is a yoshigaki. So it's sort of a Japanese big handkerchief where their loved ones, mother, father, brother, sister, fellow soldiers would write a dedication. And some would read like, good luck, come home safe. And they would, put this near their chest or near their body armor. And every Japanese soldier had these.
But so that's
yoshigaki.
that's a dead soldier's.
This is a dead soldier's.
Is that blood on the top?
Yes, it is. Blood on the top.
And so you're one of the few people that they call on for sort of dive, search and rescue stuff in the Philippines.
Search and recovery, particularly, and locating warships. So we've specialized in locating warships, and this is one of the things that remind me, because I drew this when we discovered the wrecks of the Fuso and the Yamashiro. So essentially, they become tombs of the crew that perished with the ships. And just because I kept up that interest, and it finally reached people in the US, particularly the office of the late Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. So he decided on sending his ship over to Surigao.
Because of the work that you had done?
Yeah, to help us locate ships. We could not have done it without petrol or the help of Paul Allen.
So it was his ROV that you guys were using to.
Yes, and if you would have hired a ship of that caliber or a ship of that type, it would have easily cost you maybe $30,000 per day to charter a boat like that with its crew and its project team.
And so he just donated all that equipment.
Had us use it for free with the National Museum. So the important thing to remember now is the warships are in very deep water, about 600 feet or 200 meters down, and the current here is very strong, running at about 4 knots bottom current. So it's undiveable. When research vessel Petrel, we drove it with our remotely operated vehicle, all our 5 thrusters had to work at maximum power. And the ROV also had to be on maximum power just to stay on station to be able to investigate the wrecks.
Wow.
Right here is where all of that went down. 2 a.m. in the morning, 1944.
The day after the battle in Surigao Strait, a lot of bodies washed up ashore here in Surigao. So the Japanese garrison that was here instructed the Filipinos to gather all the dead bodies and put them on top of a hill where they burned and cremated the bodies. And there were hundreds of them that they had to bring up to a hill and cremate. And so this is the marker that remembers all the war dead.
Pretty wild, because we were just literally gonna be passing through here. I had no idea what happened out there. And after meeting Jake, who we've realized is a historian and one of the most well-renowned tech divers, they call him when there's an emergency or a disaster out here. He's recovered dead bodies out of the ocean. He was explaining some stuff that he's done. Pretty disturbing stuff, to be honest. People that drown in caves and whatnot, he has to go in and pull them out. But yeah, when you stop and you learn about the place that you're visiting, your mind can be blown like it is right now. What else is so wholesome is that Jake has a boatyard down on the water there now, and he started that because he watched our episodes and thought, I can help people fix their boats as well. So it's been amazing just to get to know him a little bit better.
Surigao Strait is a choke point. So it's where international vessels and even US aircraft carriers pass through. If they're coming from Japan, going to Singapore, or from Singapore going to Japan, they pass through Surigao Strait. The Philippines does not charge for any ship that's transiting through Surigao Strait. It still has what we call territorial or sovereign rights to call you, challenge you, or check on you.
I literally could have sat and listened to Jake's wisdom for days, but we had to keep moving towards Cebu to get into the marina.
Okay, so we're going to carry on towards Cebu. Jake, what a guy. Mind-blowing what actually went down in this strait right here. By the way, if you're coming to or leaving the Philippines by boat, come see Jake. He's at the, his hotel is the Tavern Hotel. I might even put a link in on Navionics and No Foreign Land, because he's basically become the agent for Surigao. And this is the perfect place to clear in and out. It's the last place before heading down towards Papua New Guinea and that, unless you go down to Davao, which is another place you can clear in and out of. But I highly recommend it here. He can show you around. What a guy. Thank you, Jake. I know you're watching.
And thank you all for watching right until the end. I do hope you found this episode interesting, and we'll see you all at the same time next Sunday morning to see the refit begin.